Every Minecraft server is pay to win. And I'm not just talking about the servers that violate Minecraft's EULA or the obvious pay to win servers that are sought out by dupers. I mean every server. See, on most servers, it's often not the most skilled player who is the richest or has the most success. Instead, it's the player who has given Microsoft the most money and has the most accounts. And you've probably seen this often, a lot of players have alt accounts, and at first glance it might just seem like a convenience thing or a way to ban evade, but in reality, players with alt accounts have a huge advantage. And it's not server owners who are at fault, it's simply just the way that Minecraft is designed. So you can use your alt accounts to keep chunks loaded and keep your AFK farms running at all times, essentially allowing you to farm infinite gold, iron, XP, fishing loot, and so much more. You can also use alt accounts for extra inventory and ender chest space, allowing you to store so many more items 100% securely. Alt accounts also let you set up an elaborate stasis chamber network, allowing you to teleport pretty much anywhere all the way across the map, and even teleport out of combat whenever you want. There's also other small benefits, like using alts to clog up server space, or using an alt to ban evade if you're into that sort of thing. So alt accounts are a huge issue. What are we going to do about it? The easiest thing would be to do nothing, but I think we can all agree that pay to win mechanics really suck. And we should also keep in mind, this isn't just theory. Alt accounts are a real, commonly used advantage, and I saw it firsthand when I ran my own Minecraft server a few months ago. On the very first day, someone logged in with 12 alt accounts and just left them sitting at spawn. There was tons of blatant ban evading by obvious cheaters, and it was no coincidence that the two richest players on the server had the most alt accounts and were running the most AFK farms. That said, we need a real solution in order to limit the pay to win advantage of alt accounts and make Minecraft servers fun again. The obvious solution is to just block and ban alt accounts. There are plenty of tools out there that will detect alts and will notify you if two accounts log in from the same IP address, but it's simply not that straightforward. When I ran my own server, there were plenty of people logging in from the same IP address who were clearly different people and probably were just roommates, friends, or siblings. It would take tons of manual moderation, investigation, and possibly even interviews to determine if an account from the same IP address is an alt or a real person, and I really don't think that's sustainable. Additionally, it's really easy to bypass alt detection altogether. You just have to route your alt account through a VPN or a proxy so that the Minecraft server sees the account coming from a different IP address than your main account. Even though this is technical and sometimes costs money, it's really not that much overhead for someone already dabbling in the world of alt accounts. So altogether, banning alts just requires a ton of effort, and all it does is give you the illusion that your Minecraft server is not being abused by alts. Another thing we could try is some kind of identity verification. This could leverage something like phone number verification, or better yet, government ID verification, in order to enforce that a player only has one eligible account that they can play through. It would be cool if this verification was handled by Microsoft, rather than giving your phone number or your government ID to some sketchy Minecraft server. And then if there was simply an option in the server configuration to only allow identity verified accounts, kind of like the opposite of allowing cracked accounts. This sounds hopeful, but still has issues. One, there's nothing stopping someone from having multiple identity verified accounts. For example, someone could have their mom get a verified account and then use it as an alt. And most of all, who the heck is going to bother getting identity verified for Minecraft? In the end, this is a game, it's not that serious. However, it is serious enough that we need to do something about these pay-to-win alts. But unfortunately, this is the internet, and there's really no good way to monitor who is who. So rather than wasting a bunch of time trying to prevent alt accounts, instead we need to embrace it, accept it, and foster gameplay mechanics that don't give alts a significant advantage. In other words, people without alt accounts should have the same advantages as people with alt accounts. This will be a lot of work, and honestly I don't have all the answers, but I think it's the best solution, and I had even experimented with it on my own server. So for example, the server's currency was wheat, and by default, wheat only grows in loaded chunks, so players with alts could just leave an alt account at their field and let their wheat grow, while players without alt accounts would have to babysit their wheat and couldn't really do anything else. To fix this, I coded up a custom plugin that would allow offline wheat growth and keep wheat growing in unloaded chunks. This worked by storing the time that a chunk was unloaded, and then the next time that someone loaded up the chunk, it would check how much time has passed since the chunk was unloaded, and then simulate the wheat growth based on that elapsed time. This made alts useless for AFK wheat farms, and even though this solution really only worked for wheat, I imagine there are creative ways out there to make this work for other AFK farms. Another way I negated alts on my server was by just disabling stasis chambers altogether. These are super OP for teleporting around and out of combat if you have alts, but even without alts, even if it's your friend on the other side of a stasis chamber, it's just so OP and really ruins combat. If you're gonna allow these, you might as well just straight up add a teleport command. So these are just a few things that I did on my server, but the possibilities are really endless. You could have anti-cheat or moderation that's so good where ban evading doesn't even work. You could limit the extra inventory space of alts by just leaving a chest of the player's inventory wherever they log off, which will be really extreme, but would be kind of an interesting gameplay mechanic. Overall, I'd love to see more solutions like this that limit the effectiveness of alts, and I think it's the only sustainable way to stop this pay-to-win slop and make Minecraft servers more fair. I also can't do this on my own, so if you have other ideas or anything else to add, be sure to drop a comment below, and if you haven't already, be sure to smash that subscribe button for more Minecraft server theory like this, and to be notified for my next Minecraft server coming soon.